That'll hopefully be enough firewood to last us until the storm subsides. Yeah, it is a lot, but you can never be too sure with these things. You never know how long they're gonna last or how intense they're gonna get. Yeah, I know they're wet, but just leave them close to the fire and they should dry off soon. Soon enough, anyway. What? No, trust me. You don't want to go out there when it's raining. No, I don't mind getting wet either, but it's not the rain that's the actual problem. It's what it does to the terrain. Believe me, you don't want to start slipping on the mud. Fun. Yeah, we'll see how much fun you're having when you slip and fall on something sharp. Or God forbid you step on the wrong patch and half of your body sinks into the ground. And guess who's gotta pull you out? Yeah? Well, of course I would. What kind of question is that? You think I've spent all this time protecting you to just let you get swallowed by mud? Of course not. How's the fire? Are you warm enough? Yeah? Well, alright. Good. Well, even though you're warm, would you mind still holding me while we sleep? Yeah, I've really grown to like it. Do you mind? Thank you. Yeah, same position as last time. I'll lean down on the rock. Like this. I'll spread my legs apart and you just... You know, every time we do this, I can always see that stupid smile on your face. Anyway, you just come lay down on top of me. I'll lock you in place, and we can drift off. Yeah, just like that. Now, I'll wrap my arms around you. And please, if you could wrap your arms around me too. Yeah, just like that. Well, like I said, being alone for all this time, it is really nice having someone else. It's nice having physical contact again. It's just nice not to be alone anymore. What, you're really not tired yet? Well, yeah, I suppose we can talk for a little while. What did you want to talk about? How I got here. You remember last time you brought that up, I told you it's better you not know. Well, it's not exactly a fun tale, so maybe another night. You really want to know that badly? I suppose I can share the story with you if you really want to know. Yeah. Just rest your head. I'll talk softly into your ear, and hopefully you fall asleep before the end. Alright. Well, I suppose I might as well start at the beginning. I grew up in a small village. Yeah, the very edge of the continent. It was sunny, lots of water, farming, fishing. It's mostly what we did over there. A nice, peaceful place. I used to play lots of sports growing up. Yeah, any kind of organized activity, I was there. Boundless energy, always happy to compete. Learned from a very young age that I was bigger and stronger than most of the other kids around. Other people took notice too. Everyone wanted me on their fishing raft or plowing fields or what have you. Yeah. Well, it was. It was a great life. Simple. Peaceful. And I miss it dearly. And what happened? Same thing that happened to everyone else around here. I'm sure you're familiar with what country this jungle borders. Yeah, well, when they started that war, everybody got sucked into it. No matter how far, how peaceful, how passive you might have been, there was no avoiding it. It was either join the collective armies, group up and fight back, or eventually you'll all fall one by one. So that's what I did. I was gonna do everything I could to stop this thing in its tracks, so that my home wouldn't become war-torn like so many others. Yeah. So there I am, sword and shield in hand. Training day. Not much, just basic exercises, learning how to hold your weapons, how to thrust, how to slash, how to block without the shield smacking you in the face, stuff like that. Yeah, it seemed so simple and came so naturally to me. Eventually, we would spar a bit, right? Want to see how you fared against each other. How strong you were, how fast you were, what weapons you were proficient with, so that they could accurately put you in certain formations. Many quickly took notice of how good I was. Not just with a sword or an axe or a hammer, no, with everything. I could wield, I could fight, I could defend. As big and strong as I was fast too. Locking me inside some kind of shielded bastion would be a waste of my potential. Same with the longbow, as much as I could draw the string like no other. Felt like it wasn't right. There were a few of us who were deemed strong enough to lead our own small battalion. We would hit them from the side, right? Guerrilla warfare tactics. Sneak up, surprise them. Be impossible to see, invisible but effective. Make 100 men feel like 1,000. And it worked. Battle after battle. Never expected us. They couldn't deal with us. And eventually their forces would crumble. We would force them back, line by line, further and further each time. Everything was going well, or at least so it seemed. They made me a combat instructor for a time. I was to teach new recruits, and then soon after they promoted me to advanced combat instructor. After you already knew the basics, you came to me to learn tactics, awareness, certain knowledge that you pick up through experience alone. That didn't last for very long, because eventually they realized I was so knowledgeable that I started answering directly to the general. I became field leader, the one who would report back anything that happened, how far we made it, how many men we lost, stuff like that. But also, I was a tactician, planning out how we'd approach, what kind of land advantages we'd have approaching from different angles, what our numbers looked like, how good the recruits were, and what they were capable of. We got really confident, and we had no reason not to be. Every battle, minimal casualties, accomplishing our result. Until eventually, they took notice. The day was going fine, unlike any other really. We approached slowly, quietly, masked by night. And then all of a sudden, we were overwhelmed, flooded with soldiers. No tactics, no formation, nothing. They just ran us over. A bunch of crazed lunatics. I'd never seen so many people before in one area. They all had the same color armor. You could tell them apart. And they overwhelmed us entirely. I fought as long as I could, buying my men as much time as possible to get out. There was no winning this onslaught. There was only surviving. And even then, that started to seem like a distant dream, minute by minute. The few of us who survived were captured. We were slaves. Most of us went into just constructing, forced to build weapons, barriers, armor, whatever. But a select few of us were brought down to a dungeon. We didn't know where we were. It was cold, dark, smelled terrible. We were made to be gladiators. Yeah. Forced to fight for our lives on a daily basis. They believed that making your enemies fight each other would boost morale or something. Showcase how much strength you had, how much power. So there I was again, crappy sword and shield in hand. You step out, the sun just hits you. Oh, it's blinding. Crowd roaring. Initially, I refused to fight. I was not going to give them what they wanted. But I had to stay there and watch either way. I got to see as my companions, men I was grown up with, get slaughtered, maimed, ripped apart, eaten alive. Didn't matter, whatever they thought would be entertaining on the day. But I was stubborn, and I was determined. I had never been more pissed off in my life. I wanted nothing more than to live through this, and behead every last one of them, every single face in that audience. But I couldn't bear to watch it any longer. So, I decided that I would fight against my own men. No longer would I refuse. Because least, if it's by my hand, it'll be quick. As painless as I can make it. They wouldn't have to suffer anymore. And eventually, I was the only one left. The only surviving member. Alone. I began to wonder if maybe I should just give up. I should just miss with my sword. Just let myself be done. What else did I have to fight for anyway? I became like a celebrity. The unstoppable gladiator. They called me Heaven's Sentinel, like I was some kind of angel of judgment. They tattooed me. These marks on my arms. This was them. Gave me this symbol, these marks. That it was supposed to be something holy or whatever. The crowds would cheer for me and dress up like me, all while I was forced to end the lives of my own brothers. I don't know what kept me going. Anger, hatred. But I just never gave up. Maybe I had hope. Hope I wasn't aware of, but deep down, maybe. What? How did I get out? A miracle. A terrifying miracle. It'll sound crazy, but one day, as I stepped out, the sun gleaming as bright as ever. I could barely see, but all of a sudden the crowd stopped. The cheering halted, and screaming erupted. I shielded my eyes and looked up, and fire raining from the sky like a meteor shower, a volcano, something. I don't know how to describe it. It was like hell itself had been released upon us. Wave after wave, it struck the Colosseum, blasting through stone, melting all the bars, burning people, singeing them to ash. I ran. I hid behind cover. Instinctively, I don't even think it would have helped me. Honestly, I was just lucky I wasn't hit. It didn't stop. The air was so dark. It was difficult to even see what was in front of you, let alone breathe. Eventually, though, a wall collapsed near me, and I ran through wall after wall until eventually I was just free. I wasn't in there anymore. I wasn't trapped. I just kept running. I didn't stop. I wasn't turning back. I was going to get out. The surge of adrenaline and my freedom being delivered to me in such a strange occurrence, and the fear of being burned alive. I've never been more afraid, but hopeful. I'm not even sure how to describe it. I ran and ran and ran. Ran deep into this jungle, as far as I could go. Far enough that nobody would follow me. Far enough that I would never be found. I ran into a cliffside. There didn't seem to be an end to it, but I knew that if I could just scale it, if I could somehow just get down, I'd be free. No way would anything be crazy enough to follow me in here. I climbed my way down. Rocks would give way, I'd slip, I'd fall. I was bleeding profusely, but I made my way to the bottom, alive. I was so tired. I fell asleep right there. When I woke up, it was like a bad dream. I wasn't sure what was real. Stood up, looked around, remembered the jungle, and then I looked right up. Smoke filled the sky. It was no dream. There was barely any sunlight getting through. It was cold. I had to find a way to survive. I needed to make a fire. Find shelter. You know, just like you. And so I did. I just focused on surviving. Focused on telling myself that one day I'd find my way out. I'd make my way back home. And I still believe that. If I've been stubborn enough to survive this long, then I'm sure as hell not gonna quit now. I began to lose track of the days, and eventually, even the smoke cloud in the sky cleared up. I had no idea how long it had been. But day after day, I'd look, try to find ways to get back up. Look for some kind of way out, any sign of civilization, anything that could lead me to safety. And of course, then I met you. Yeah, and you know the rest from there. That's why I enjoy being held so much. Like I said, it's nice not to be alone anymore. It's nice to have somebody that I care about again. Are you still awake? Probably for the best. You sleep well. And I'll do the same.